What are the trade-offs that you would consider, like, you know, we work our asses off, we do a lot of stuff, but this is what we had to sacrifice in order to do it? If you think of it that way.
I think if you think of it as a sacrifice, then you're going to build frustration or resentment. I really don't. If you think it's a sacrifice, you shouldn't do it. I think the challenge is that most people have this illusion about life-work balance. And I think that's you know, if you're going to accomplish it, it's what people are laughing because you know it's bullshit, right? What's true is life-work integration. So I was just in 21 countries, or 7 countries, 21 days, but who's with me is my family, who's with me is my friends, and I've done well enough to have a plane and bedrooms and all that kind of cool stuff makes it. But when I didn't, we huffed it together, and beginning days it was coach and dragging ourselves around. But I thought it was great for my kids to have schooling, but I thought an education was more valuable, and traveling the earth was a part of that. But you know, we're in the middle of this crazy schedule, but it's not work, it's a mission. When it's work, it's that. I always ask people, I said, how would you describe what you do? And people, I say, is it work, is it career, or is it mission? And most people, of course, say it's work, and that's exactly what it is. It's heavy. If it's, you know, if it's your career, it gives you something more. If it's your mission, it doesn't wear you out, it brings energy to you, it's fulfilling. And if you can tie your mission in with the people that you love, it's pretty cool. You know, there's some people in this room, they're my friends. I see Dean here in the front row here, and it's like we're all on this mission, and we find time to connect and be with each other and have a blast with each other, but we're sharing about things that matter. I'm not a person to go to a party and, like, you know, go in the corner and chit chat. It's like, you want to talk about something deep, let's rock. You don't, let me go home and be with my family, or, you know, let me go do something fun, something of that nature. If you can combine your mission with your family, combine your mission with some of your friends, then you're going to accomplish 1,000,000 times more. But if you think it's a sacrifice, don't do it, because then all you're doing is you're going to have resentment later on, or frustration later on, and then you really aren't contributing, because you're trading off, you're not giving. Plays golf in this room? Anybody play golf? So if I said to you, let's go play golf, and by the way, I'm a terrible golfer, I never play, and truthfully, I only play like 6, 8 holes. I just go out for some fun a little bit with my wife and friends. And as we're walking along, I tell you that, but as we get up to the first hole, I say, you know, just to make it a little more interesting, why don't we bet a dime a hole? Just so there's something on the line. Now, most people are gonna go, no problem. You're not gonna go, you know, is he a shark? Is he setting me up? 10 cents a hole. How many holes are there? 18 holes. How much I got at risk? $1.80, right? Okay, not a big deal. And then I'm just about to get up there and hit the first ball, and I say, you know, just make it a little more interesting, why don't we just double it each hole? So what would that be? First hole is 10 cents, so the second hole is 20 cents, third hole would be 40 cents, fourth hole is gonna be 80 cents, fifth hole is gonna be $1.60, sixth hole is gonna be $3.20. Now stop, how many holes are there? 18. So we're 1/3 the way through, and it's $3.20. So in your head, you say, wow, what, you know, so what might cost me 10, 12, 15 bucks if I lose? No big deal. But if we continue the math, what happens? Let's take it out to 9 holes and see what is 9 holes. You get out to 9 holes and you go, wow, I wasn't expecting $25, but we're only halfway there. Go ahead, flip the balance. 11, 12, now look what happens here. We get to the 13th hole, $409. We went from down here 25 bucks, 4 holes later, we're at 409. How do we go from 25 to 400 in 4 holes? Power of compounding. Watch what happens these last holes. 14th hole, 15th hole, 16th, 17th, 18th hole, $13,107. Okay? So if you're a good golfer, this is what you'll go do next week when you get home, right? If you find your passion, you're gonna have this tremendous energy. It's sustainable energy. But momentum requires you always do the next thing to keep the momentum going. And the reason you get yourself in a passionate place is so that you change your life, and the only thing that changes your life is making a decision. So while you're in this passionate state, that's where you make decisions. You don't make decisions when you're like, oh, I don't know, what do you think? All right, let's decide. If you make a decision in a state without momentum, if you make a decision from a place where there's no passion, you are not gonna get momentum. It'll kill momentum. It's decide, commit, and resolve. Some of you, in the past, you've gotten momentum. You've
gotten passionate. You've even made a decision. But a decision is the first step. Decision is like a war. I gotta do this or that. All right, I'm gonna make myself do this. But commitment is when you now, after you've decided, you commit to do this for the long term. Whether it's hard or easy, doesn't matter. You're doing this. It takes it from this moment and it carries it into the future even when things are difficult. And the third state is resolve. Resolve means it's done. It's like, it doesn't even if you took action, it's done inside you, so it's done out there. There's no question whatsoever. Then once you decide, the only way the commitment and the energy and the momentum continues is if you take immediate, massive what, my friends? Massive what? Write down in your notes, massive action is the cure-all. Massive action is the cure-all. If you're having a difficult time with something, your relationship isn't where you want it to be, your finances are not where you want to be, your body's not where you want to be, your business is not where you want to be, you need to take massive action. And if that doesn't work, try something else. If that doesn't work, try something else. Keep going with massive action and you will find the way because it will give you momentum.
Well, I think you have to decide what's most important to you and what are you doing all this for. If you're just doing it for money, it's a burnout for anything. So you gotta just ask yourself, what you don't want to give up on is why did you get in the business originally? What is it you really want? And economic freedom should be clearly one of those things for people, but time freedom should be there also. That's why I work with dentists, they go through business mastery to make them an owner, so they can start to say, I really could have somebody else in some of these, taking over some of these clients. And most are scared to do that initially because they go, that's my income. But we show them how to time it so that gradually you end up getting more income from other people working than yourself. Then you do your best work. It's like the goal is get financially free, not so you never work again. Because if you don't ever work again, you'll dry up inside, It's like when I was growing up, everybody's like, making the money to get rich and retire. So I did that at 26, which was so absurd. And the amount of money I had, I thought was more than you could spend. Of course, that was not true. But what I learned is it's really about making enough money you don't ever have to work again, and then you work harder and you enjoy it more. Steve Wynn's a dear friend of mine, built most of Las Vegas, and he's 74. Peter Gruber, who's here in LA, a friend of mine, who owns the Warriors and Los Angeles Dodgers. He owns movie companies. 74 years old, does more today than when I knew him when he was 50. Warren Buffett, 84, 85 now, works harder today than ever more. None of those people have to work. They do it because it's so fulfilling, but it's different when you don't have to work and you work, then you have to work and you work. It's like a different being. Most people have a belief about what their real potential is no matter what you tell them. And that affects how much action they take. And of course that affects the result. And then ironically, that result reinforces their belief. And then that belief affects it. So I'll give you an example. Let's say a person has unlimited potential, we all agree. But they take little action, little results. Why? Because they have to start with a problem with their belief. They don't believe it's really going to happen for me. Maybe for Frank Kearns because he's got the cool hair and stuff, or maybe it's for you because you're so driven, but it's not me. Maybe Tony Robbins because he's a freak, got these big teeth. Whatever their thought process is, right? They got this thing, right? But what happens is, if you believe that there's very little potential, how much action are you going to take? Nothing, little. And when you take little potential with a little action, what kind of results do you get? Lousy little results. And when you get little results, what does that do to your belief? You go, see, I told you this was a waste of time, told you this wouldn't work. And then what happens? You tap even less potential, you take even less action, you get even worse results, and your belief gets even weaker. And this sucker feeds on itself until you are in a downward spiral.
It's poisonous.
It's poisonous and it's self-fulfilling. Now, what if something could happen that could come along and fill you with a sense of absolute certainty? Not like I believe, but where you know. In you guys' case, mine as well, we knew because we had to, because we burned the boats. There was no other option. We had to find a way. We weren't going to live that way. We all did it in different ways and for different reasons, but in essence, that was it. If you get yourself in a state of certainty that this is going to work, I'm going to find the way, and if this doesn't work, I will make the way, then you tap a lot more potential. And
And when you're certain in your potential, you take massive action. When you take massive action, you really believe in something, you get great results. When you get great results, your brain goes, see, I told you I was a stud. I told you this thing would work out. Now you're even stronger. You tap more potential, take greater action, greater results. That's how you went from $300 in a week to $2,500 in 5 days to $100,000 in a month to $1 million in a day. Same thing with you. And we get momentum. That's why the rich get richer and the poor get poorer. Now some people go out and they go, well, I'm going to take a bunch of action, all right? I'm going to open this product, I'm going to try it. And they'll say to you, I even did it. But it's like a salesman who goes and knocks on the door, and he knocks on 100 doors and says,
you don't want one of these, do you?
yeah, exactly right. You know? And even if he doesn't say it verbally, his face says it because he doesn't believe it's going to work. So his voice, his body, the execution is so weak. Maybe if he talks to 100 people, somebody's going to buy out of pity. They don't want his kids to starve, right? But he's not going to get the result. So the core difference in people is, how do you produce certainty when the world isn't giving it to you? You go out and you try, in your case, you're 100,000 in debt, nothing's working. How do you keep yourself going? The way you did it, the way I did it, the way you're doing it, we may not have done it consciously, is we didn't change our potential, that was there. And it wasn't even taking more action. Taking more action with a belief it's not gonna work, it's not gonna change anything. We got results in our head that made us feel certain as if it had already happened.